Why do tribes that isolate themselves still exist? And why do they choose to remain completely cut off from modern civilization? While the world races toward hyper-connectivity, a small number of tribes intentionally live apart. These groups are mostly found in remote jungles or on remote islands, and have refused contact with outsiders, sometimes for centuries. In an age of satellites and smartphones, their continued isolation feels almost mythical. But these tribes are real. Anthropologists have identified dozens of such groups in the Amazon, Papua New Guinea and beyond. Their way of life has remained largely unchanged, passed down orally through generations. What drives this fierce independence? Many of these communities have faced catastrophic contact with outsiders in the past. Outbreaks of disease, exploitation, and even ending up in slavery. Their retreat from the world is often rooted in painful survival. To them, outsiders represent danger more than opportunity. Despite their isolation, these tribes offer us something precious. They provide a living mirror of how humans once lived, in tune with nature. Understanding their world challenges our assumptions about progress, happiness, and the cost of development. Why does one tribe respond to every visitor with arrows instead of open arms? The Sentinelese live on North Sentinel Island in the Bay of Bengal. They are known as the most uncontacted people on Earth. Almost any attempt to reach them has ended in hostility, often violently. In 2018, a missionary who tried to reach them was killed by arrows before he set foot on their island. To many, their actions may appear aggressive or primitive, but their hostility is a survival instinct. Past interactions with outsiders, including British colonizers and Indian officials, often ended in disease and death. These events live on in tribal memory, passed down as warnings. The Indian government now protects the island. No one is allowed to approach within 3 nautical miles. Surveillance is done by drones, helicopters, or boats that stay far offshore. Their territory is one of the last true no-go zones on Earth. This tribe, living without metal tools or farming, has become a powerful symbol of the right to remain uncontacted. They've made a clear choice, and in respecting it, we must confront our own impulse to interfere or dominate. How does a tribe thrive deep in the Amazon with no electricity, phones, or even metal tools? The Korubo people living in the Javari Valley of Brazil are known for their isolation and fierce defense of their territory. They are sometimes called the clubbers, because they still use traditional wooden clubs for hunting and self-defense. Their villages lie deep in the jungle, far beyond roads or even trails. The Korubo are expert foragers, hunters, and fishermen. They know every sound in the forest and every plant that can heal or harm. They make hammocks from palm fibers and use tree sap for waterproofing. They do not write, and their spoken language is undocumented. For many years, the Brazilian government tried to contact the Korubo. Now the policy has shifted to a no-contact approach. However, a few Korubo who have chosen limited contact act as intermediaries to help protect the rest of their people. The Korubo's way of life is self-sufficient and low impact. They live in collective housing and share food and resources equally. There's no currency, no calendar, and no concept of ownership in the Western sense. What drives a hidden tribe to suddenly seek out contact after centuries of silence? The Mashco-Piro of Peru were once considered voluntarily isolated as they avoided contact with all outsiders. For decades, their movements were glimpsed only through binoculars or aerial photos. But recently, something has changed. Small groups have been approaching nearby villages, requesting food, clothes, and even tools. This shift has alarmed anthropologists while raising urgent questions. What changed? We know that deforestation, illegal logging, and oil exploration have destroyed significant parts of their territory. Once safe hunting grounds are disappearing, and the tribe may be reaching out in desperation. The Mashco-Piro's emergence is fragile. They are vulnerable to diseases that outsiders carry and viruses they have no immunity to. Even a handshake could be deadly, yet their curiosity and need push them into risky contact. The Peruvian government has attempted to mediate through contact teams, but the situation remains volatile. The tribe's sudden visibility is both a tragedy and a cry for help. It's a warning of how even the most protected cultures can be displaced. What's the cost when an isolated tribe is absorbed into modern society? The Batak of Palawan Island in the Philippines once lived entirely off the land. They hunted, gathered wild honey, and traded resin with passing merchants. But today, many Batak live on the fringes of towns and struggle with poverty and disconnection. Over time, government programs, settlers and missionaries introduced them to agriculture, Christianity and schooling. While some Batak adapted, many others faced cultural loss, malnutrition and alcoholism. Their language is dying, their forest has shrunk and their identity has blurred. Modern contact promised development, but it only delivered dependency. The Batak became the subjects of aid instead of the stewards of their own land. Many feel caught between two worlds, while belonging to neither. The Batak remind us that not all contact is helpful. Modern society can be both overwhelming and extractive. And helping a tribe often means changing them forever. Is it possible to defend tribal isolation using modern laws and politics? The Yanomami people span the border between Brazil and Venezuela, some living in isolated villages, while others have accepted limited contact with outsiders. Their territory is rich in gold, making them frequent targets of both illegal mining and land grabs. Brazilian laws grant them rights to the land as well as to cultural autonomy. However, enforcement is weak, and mining operations often continue unchecked. Contaminated rivers, disease outbreaks, and violent incursions all threaten their survival. Leaders like Davi Kopanawa, a Yanomami shaman and activist, have spoken at the UN to demand stronger protections. International attention has pressured governments, but the battle is ongoing. The Yanomami situation shows that laws are only as strong as the will to enforce them. It's a blueprint for balancing tradition and defense in a globalized world. Do these tribes reveal something that modern life has lost? The uncontacted tribes live without electricity, clocks, or the internet, but they also live without burnout, debt, or pollution. Their lives revolve around food, family, and ritual. There's no chasing more, just enough. These societies are not utopias. Life can be short and harsh, but they also reveal a kind of resilience and contentment that challenges Western definitions of success. Their world moves slowly, and the seasons guide time. Community guides purpose. It's a life based on balance, rather than growth at all costs. These tribes force us to confront difficult questions. What does it mean to live well? And what have we sacrificed in the name of advancement? Can language reshape how we experience life and stress? The Amondawa tribe in Brazil reportedly has no concept of abstract time. There are no words for week, month, or year. They mark life by events, like harvest season, when the river rose, or when my sister was born. This has fascinated linguists. Without structured time, the Amondawa seem to experience life in a more fluid and present-centered way. They don't rush, don't schedule, and don't view aging in the same way as most modern cultures. Could the absence of time lead to a different kind of peace? Some researchers think so. Studies suggest they have lower stress and lower levels of anxiety than industrialized populations. Language shapes thought. If your words don't allow you to worry about the future, maybe you live more freely in the now. What is our responsibility to these people, and what happens if we fail them? The answer isn't simple. Each tribe is different. Some want contact, others fear it. The best we can offer is respect and protection when needed. The choice must always belong to them. We must guard against exploitation disguised as help. These communities are not museum pieces, but living, breathing cultures with deep knowledge. We owe them the humility of listening. Their continued existence offers us a mirror, seeing what life could be like without noise, greed, or speed. Their silence says more than 1,000 speeches ever could. Will we learn from them before we destroy what they are trying to preserve? Let's amplify their voice by choosing silence over intrusion. If you believe in protecting human diversity and that some worlds deserve to stay untouched, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell if this journey moved you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.